Okay, I think we're good to go. So let's start. Good morning, good evening, hello to wherever you are right now, and welcome to our joint webinar with our Australian partner, Kubermatic. My name is Caroline. I'm a marketing manager at Kubermatic, and I'm very happy to see that so many of you are joining today to learn more about how to empower your DevOps organization with Kubernetes. Our today's speakers for the webinar are Adrián, co-founder and director of Deccico, and Malte, who's a solutions architect at Kubermatic, and together they will be walking you through best practices of the DevOps approach. They will be explaining why Kubernetes further promotes this movement and how our open source Kubermatic Kubernetes platform can empower your DevOps organization by fully automating your Kubernetes operations. Before we get started with the exciting part, just two more notes to make from my side. If you have any questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A chat window below so that we either can answer them straight away or in the Q&A session right after the talk. And in case you need to drop out earlier, no worries. We are recording the session and we will send out the replay in the coming days. We will upload it to our website and you can find it on our YouTube channel. So there's a bunch of ways of rewatching the webinar whenever it suits you. Yeah, so that's it with the marketing part. I hope you'll enjoy it, have fun, and now handing over to Adrián. The stage is yours.
Hey, thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Kubermatic people, for helping organizing and being such good partners. So today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna learn a bit about how to improve your organization with DevOps and Kubernetes. So I hope you learn a little bit about this. A little bit about myself. I've been in the industry for quite a long time, more than 20 years, in many different business domains, many different countries also. And 4 years ago, I started Deccico, where we are helping organizations to improve and to get the benefits that we're gonna study today. So, I'm really quite excited about this topic, how to make things better, how to make the world a better place. So if you're talking about empowering, I understand this from the very beginning, or I want to study this from the very beginning. It's going to be digital transformation. So what is digital transformation? Is using tools, digital tools to solve problems. That's the very basic. But something that I want you to see also with me is that this is a transformation we're talking about. This is not a iteration, it's not a small improvement, but it's going from A to B, unleashing new innovation, new creativity with these new tools, new techniques that we're gonna study today. So what does it mean in the case of our case study, in the case of our organization, our IT department? Well, the news for you is that the new paradigm that we are talking about is digital platforms. So what does it mean? So digital platform is a set of self-service APIs, tool, knowledge, support, everything arranged into a compelling internal product. That is not always the case, but that is what we aim for. This is our digital platform we are trying to achieve. So the key here is that the digital platform needs to be a product. Why a product? Well, very often organizations talk about projects. We want to go to the cloud. Another project, we want to use containers. We want to use Kubernetes. We want to, I don't know, do many new, cool, exciting things. But if we think instead as a product, this means we're going to have this asset in the organization that we're going to look after and we're going to try to improve every day, compounding interest on the way. So how does this product look like? First of all, self-service. It's very important. Why self-service? It could be that our digital platform is not self-service and it's just used by a team. Well, that's the way it is, and that's the way it was always been in our organization. But if you think about DevOps, you want to break silos, you want to open communication channels, you want the different teams to be able to unleash their creativity and their productivity also. So self-service here is the key. Also, API first. I'm sure you know this, some of you, that APIs help to connect to different applications between each other. So imagine the International Space Station that has many modules. You can keep adding things. You could maybe build a city on the space. And with our platform, with our tools, the same can be achieved. We can keep adding new modules, new tools, new scripts to be able to optimize and add more creativity and add more innovation into what we are doing. Another recommendation, start small, baby steps. Start locally and then build globally. What does this mean? Well, we can start with a team that is maybe a friend of us, that we have good connections and we have been working together before to solve their problems, to achieve some innovation. We start a digital platform with them, and then we keep building globally. We go to the next team, we say, hey, we achieved this with this team, we deliver so much value, now we are ready to move forward to the next team, and furthermore to the whole organization. We need to be clear also with our digital platform, why do we do this? It's not to make our boss happy or the CTO or the CEO happy, but we need to focus on our customers, the developers. We want them to be able to focus on adding more value, to creating more features, to fixing bugs. So imagine if developers don't have to worry about getting permissions to repos or having to deploy a new networking rule or having access to an environment. If everything is self-service, then they can just flow and they can be as productive as possible. Now, we have good news. We created this platform, this amazing product, but it's as important, the quality is as important as the communication side of it. We all heard if the tree fall in the forest and nobody heard it, they really fall. Well, maybe it did, maybe it did not. But what we do want is to publicize, to do internal technical talks, to have a nice README talk in our internal wiki, how to do stuff. Ideally, we want people that join the organization to be able to become productive and have access to tools and systems very quickly. And we mentioned this before, interest compound. If we keep adding more value into the platform, if we treat it as a product, then it's going to grow and it's going to make our organization much better place. So continuously invest in the product is super important. What are the benefits? Well, we kind of talked about this already a little bit. Our digital platform, internal digital platform, can help teams be more efficient, can also improve governance. Why is this? Well, because a platform naturally will help centralizing, will help like creating these digital assets that everybody can use. Some might think, well, but what if I want to do things differently? Which is fine. There is always going to be a new level of experimentation that we can allow to happen, and that's going to be good. And it also should be part of the conversation, of the feedback loops. Maybe a team wants to do things differently. We allow them to do that, and then maybe we incorporate that into our platform. So that's how we can move forward. So governance is going to be easier if we have this nice central platform paved road that set up good defaults for everybody. That's going to make governance easy, but also allowing some innovation definitely is going to help on the way. And of context switching, developers able to focus on their problems. Maybe they want to innovate, well, they're going to take a bit longer in setting up their tools and environment, or maybe they just want to be proactive from day one, so they can focus in their problems at hand, in adding more value to the business. And of course, if we have a team improving our digital platform, there's going to be a continuous improvement, which should be part of how we do things from now on. What KPIs, what metrics we can visualize as part of all this investment that we're doing? Well, the State of DevOps report actually measure low performers organizations with high performers organizations. And they found out that the high performers, they do 200 times more frequent deployments, they recover from failures faster, 24 times faster indeed. They also fail less, which is great, and staggering 2,555 times faster time to go from idea to code in production. That is just amazing. And well, this was actually studied, and well, it's an amazing number, and it's a great motivation to achieve these techniques to get all these benefits. So you might think, you might have an idea, but it's good to visualize it in concrete terms. What does this mean? What are the components of our digital platform? First of all, our CI/CD workflows, how we go from code in our computers, developers' computers, to production and to different environments. So we might use Jenkins, GitLab, GitHub, Bamboo, TeamCity, whatever. All these tools will help us out. Our internal infrastructure, our access to machines, networking, storage, and so on. That's also part of our components. And in this case, our recommendation is to use containers, to use Kubernetes. That is going to allow us to standardize our platform, our internal infrastructure, and even it will help us very easily going to the public cloud. So maybe we can mix internal with external. We can have a hybrid cloud. We can use Kubermatic, which is a great tool to do exactly this. And then we can get the benefits of, for example, if I want to move from AWS to Azure because they are better prices, or to the Google Cloud, or if I want to expand capacity somewhere else in Alibaba, maybe if I'm in China, then I can do this, because it doesn't matter what cloud I'm using. It doesn't matter what infra I'm using, internal or external. Kubernetes does allow me to have this standardized platform. Also, like if it is not obvious, allows me to avoid vendor lock-in. So these open source technologies are actually a huge empowerment to all the organizations. So I really look forward. I'm really motivated to have everybody using this, because, well, it's free, it's open source, and also it's a huge help, and it's a balancing power. If you are using Kubernetes, then getting new environments is quite easy. We can have this dev, QA, production, UAT. We can create a new environment for each of our developers. So that also allows for innovation, that allows for developer productivity. And also in this platform, it's quite easy to see, well, if anything is wrong, setting up these monitoring tools. There are many. And well, if anything is wrong, we can just relax, because it's going to be easy to fix. So monitoring and alerting should be an easy to fix program. Well, other components from a digital platform: database provisioning, audit, logging, patching, security policies. There are many. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but they are part of our digital platform, internal digital platform. So why doesn't everybody have this? If it is so cool, so important, there are so many benefits. I'm sure you can relate with me. Lack of time is an issue, and we're gonna see why this happens. Maybe we don't have time because, well, we have all different tools, all different snowflakes, and well, that's just gonna make things more complicated, and it's gonna take longer to achieve the same outcomes. Also, maybe we hire great developers, but we don't have great DevOps in the team, or maybe our DevOps or sysadmins don't know much about containers and Kubernetes. And well, having the right skills, having people that know how to apply these new cool techniques that can help your organization so much, definitely, well, it's a challenge to overcome. Asking for help, we recommend, is a good way to move forward and to reap off the benefits. So, question is, how can we measure our organization? Where do we stand? According to the 2020 State of DevOps report, there are 5 DevOps maturity scale. And well, I found it fun to make a comparison with the Pokemon evolution. So if you like Pokemon, I hope you can enjoy this. I watched it when I was a kid, and I found the whole evolution and Pokemon's quite cute, so I'm going to share with you. The stage 1, we went to the forest, we catch our Pokemon, we have our Pokemon in our Pokeball. So we just started, really. What does it mean for our maturity scale? Well, we are in the normalization stage. Our team used version control, Subversion, Git, maybe Perforce. Also, we deploy our code on a standard set of operating systems, maybe Ubuntu and CentOS or Red Hat, and Windows also, who knows. So that's the characteristic, that is the characteristic of stage 1 DevOps maturity. In the next stage, we have Pichu. Pichu is the baby Pikachu, which is like super cute, but not very powerful. In concrete terms, regarding our maturity scale, this means we're in the standardization. Before was normalization, now is standardization. This means the team deploys on a single operating system. Hopefully, maybe Ubuntu, which is the one I like, or Red Hat, which is the most enterprisey one, or if you're a Windows shop, maybe we are using Windows, and that would be fine. And the team builds on a standard set of technologies. Maybe they have some Python and Node.js, who knows? There are a few technology stacks that they know and use, and that's okay to start moving toward standardization. That's going to make the teams more productive. On stage 3, we have the expansion stage. The symbol is Pikachu. We all know him. He even has a movie, great movie. I enjoy it. For our maturity scale, DevOps maturity scale, this means we now have patterns for building applications and services. What does this mean? Well, a new team that wants to create a new application, they can click somewhere or call a script, and off they go. They have the template ready. They have something ready to use, and that's great because they don't need to worry about what database they use, how they can connect, how they can get access to machines, and so on and so forth. So there are patterns that say, hey, here you go, there is your basic application, now just add the business rules, just do whatever you want to do, which is great in terms of productivity. Also, big shocker, now the infra changes are tested before deployment. So this is important. We don't make changes in production directly without testing, but rather now we are testing. This is how the code is done, usually, most cases, and that's how the infrastructure also should work. In stage 4, we have Raichu. Raichu is a bigger Pokemon, it's the evolution of Pikachu. He's faster, he's more powerful, has more defense, he has a bigger tail that allows him to support more electricity. And regarding our DevOps maturity scale, this means more automation. The key here is Git operations, GitOps. So all of our code now, all of our infrastructure lives in source code. So if I want to deploy a new environment, if I want to move to the cloud, if I want to move to another cloud, it's super easy. I just click a button and off I go. I can have my infrastructure automatically set up. For example, if I want to create a new security policy, I don't go to the machine, I go to the source code and I set this up. So this is a sign of maturity, and this is what we should be aiming for, having not only our applications in source code, but also our hardware code, our infrastructure should be in source code. Finally, stage 5, this is the Nirvana stage. We achieved full self-service. This Pokemon is not actually an evolution, but it's rather more like the cousin of Raichu. It's the cousin from the Alola Island. It's called Alola Raichu, and has the same power, but also has psychic powers. Imagine a giant rat that can also, I don't know, control your mind. It's very, very scary. So not only can like beat you up with some electricity, but also can make you, I don't know, act like a chicken. So I would be very scared if I have to fight against one of those. In case of the DevOps maturity scale, this is full self-service. self-service of resources. We have an architecture team that is aligned to the business needs. Maybe the business needs to, I don't know, get applications up and running very quickly. Maybe the business is set up all over the planet, and we need to be able to, I don't know, use any cloud available. So we're going to be following what the business needs. So technology and business are aligned, which is a great thing. Also, security is involved. The shift to the left is involved from the early stages of the design and deployment of technology. So our infra team, our developers are going to be in conversations with security, not to make it an afterthought, not to just test before production, maybe doing some penetration testing, but rather to make it part of the process, part of the development process, which is like super important. So, in summary, we demonstrated how we can get higher levels of efficiency, governance, less context switching, more autonomy using this digital platform. If we are higher up in the scale, we're gonna get more benefits. Teams that are successful, organizations that are highly mature, they report like 6 times more usage, high usage of internal platforms. So it's something to aim for, something that the high performers are doing right now. Also, if we need to sell it to the higher ups, well, there are these key 4 metrics: faster and more frequent deployments, faster recovery from failures, less failure, and a shorter time to go from idea to production. So what is not to like? I encourage everybody to aim for this. Finally, just quick mention, in Aromatic, we have helped all of our customers to achieve these things. We offer different services from DevOps, cloud infra, containerization, and also software development. That's what we love doing, and we would love also helping you out. These are just the references, many images, and some of the ideas I got from many different sources. So if you want to take a look, they're all here. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to pass now to Caroline.
And I'm handing over to Malte. It's your part. Okay, waiting for Malte.
Hello, everyone. Are you able to hear me and to see my screen?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfectly. So first of all, many thanks for attending here, and special thanks goes to Adrián here for this interesting session. I would like to continue here and just give you a short introduction into the Kubermatic Kubernetes platform. As mentioned by Adrián, this would be one platform which can be used to leverage different hybrid clouds or on-premise environments to run Kubernetes on autopilot. So maybe it's not well so known who Kubermatic is, so let me just give you a short introduction to Kubermatic and what Kubermatic is doing. So we are a team of more than 60 plus employees across Europe and the world, and we are quite proud to be actually number 6 top corporate committed to the Kubernetes project in the last 12 months. We are founded 2016 with a headquarter in Hamburg. So we are a company from Germany. We are quite young, but we believe that we are innovative, cloud-native Kubernetes company in employing top talents in Europe and with top Kubernetes contributors. As one example, the number 1 and number 2 contributors to the dashboard of Kubernetes are actually working here at Kubermatic. And what's our vision? Our vision is to provide automatic operations not only in deploying Kubernetes, but as well in day 2 operations. And we are talking about day 2 operations. It's starting from the deployment of Kubernetes clusters, maintaining, repairing, upgrading up to decommissioning of it. And the mission is innovating with cloud native and as well with the help of the Kubernetes community. So we are a strong believer in open source and community. So we are just not taking out code and innovation from the community. We are bringing as well changes to the community with commits and contributions. We are the creators of Kube1 and the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform, which I will show you in a few seconds. And the winning strategy is here operating as an independent leading expert, where Kubermatic delivers the Kubermatic Enterprise Suite and the Kubermatic Service Platform in enabling the full automation, which is needed in stage 4 and stage 5, as discussed and showed by Adrián here. Our portfolio is focused on Kubernetes. So we are a Kubernetes only company. That means we have, as mentioned before, 2 kinds of software. On one side, Kube1, which is supposed to support you in bringing up your first Kubernetes project and to provide you full automation of a single cluster. But the more interesting part, what I would like to show today, is the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform. And the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform empowers you to easily deploy, manage, and run multiple Kubernetes clusters in the cloud. What we have seen as well, what is quite important, is not just providing software to customers and prospects, is as well important to enable them. So how we are doing it, we have 2 professional services offerings. On the one side, we have consulting. Our consulting department, which are all certified consultants, are supporting our customers and prospects, not just in testing our software, but as well in the architecture of it, in the implementation, up to even managed services if it's needed. On the other side as well, training is a very important point for us, because only customers are really able to operate a Kubernetes platform at scale if they are good trained. So we have as well CNCF trainings available, but as well training for our platforms here. So the platform where I would like to talk about it today is the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform. It is a unified solution for automated cloud-native operations with one enterprise Kubernetes management platform. It can run on any infrastructure. So the 4 examples by Adrián are hyperscalers, which we are supporting out of the box. That means the typical hyperscalers, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba are supported, but we can as well support on-premise environments, either on bare metal, on VMware, vSphere, or on OpenStack. And the aim of our software is to provide automatic operations for all day 2 operations of a Kubernetes cluster with a world-class density and resilience for the control plane. One special thing about our software is not even the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform is already containerized. We are providing as well the services of a control plane containerized. So that means we are leveraging Kubernetes operators, and with the help of the Kubernetes operators in combination with the cluster API, it is possible for us to provide containerized control planes with a density of around half a vCPU and 2 GB per RAM per user cluster, which I would say is quite good. And with the help of the Kubernetes operator, it is possible as well to enable for the control plane self-healing capabilities. With the latest version 2.16, which we have just released last week, we are as well providing the ability in the security point of view to integrate the open policy agent. So that's available currently on command line, but we are working on the UI in the next version. And the overall aim and goal, what we should provide besides the automatic operations for the operations part, is as well for the development part to provide you a good tool for the application delivery with a great developer experience. The focus and the strength of our software is to run Kubernetes in multiple locations. So the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform is designed to host a control plane wherever it is needed. It can be centralized control planes on a master cluster provided by Kube1. It is possible with our software for worldwide deployments to create regional hubs with seed clusters around the globe, or decentralized control planes wherever they are needed, which is more for the edge case. Another example how to use our software is that it can be used to support multiple customers to spin up clusters on demand. As well, KKP is designed for the multi-tenancy use case with project-based organizations and the strengths with stacks for IPAM integration and OPA for policy management, which I will as well give you a short walkthrough in demo at the end of the presentations. But if there's a use case for many installations and as well in combination clusters on demand, this is where the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform can help as well, because it is designed to host multiple Kubernetes clusters for multiple departments in one common platform with a full set of operations or cluster level for the developers. While at the same time, the operations team has as well the overall control about resources and a single pane of glass. So in summary, what is the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform? It is a unified solution which should provide you and supporting you in speed up cloud native adoptions. It automates day 2 operations, and as mentioned by Adrián, as compliance is very important, it is as well able to support you in the view on compliance. How we are doing it, we are leveraging best-in-class ecosystem tooling. We have a lot of infrastructure providers which we are supporting. This is just an example and a bunch of lists here, but it's not complete just because of the space. So we are supporting from a hyperscaler perspective, AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, for smaller deployments, more in the German area, Hetzner, but for China, as mentioned by Adrián as well, Alibaba Cloud. For on-premise, you can install and use instances coming from OpenStack or VMware vSphere, or for the bare metal case, we can do a kubeadm integration or leverage package here. Don't be confused that you see as well Kube1 here at the bottom. What we have seen for many customers, as our software is containerized, we would need to have a Kubernetes cluster where our software is running. Either you can use in a public cloud space or with the hyperscalers, AKS or EKS, to deploy our Kubermatic Kubernetes platform itself, or for on-premise cases as well possible to install with the help of Kube1, just a master cluster where you can leverage it to deploy the Kubermatic Kubernetes platform, but as well other tools like Jenkins or CI/CD system. The overall aim of this software is provide Kubernetes clusters as a service for end users. This can be done in a multi-cluster setup, so it is possible with one single pane of glass to deploy Kubernetes clusters across public clouds, private clouds, or in a hybrid setup. The software is designed for multi-tenancy, so as we are providing access to our tool project base, it is possible in projects in various combinations with RBAC to deploy clusters for a group of people, which can be either departments, which can be end users, or anything else, what you think about it. The security policy is included as well, so you can either use pod security policies or the open policy agent integration. Our software is as well providing infrastructure monitoring and logging, which I will show you in a second. So we are using here in this scenario Prometheus with dashboarding of Grafana, and for logging information looking from Grafana Labs. And we have as well included backups and recovery for the control plane with the help of Velero. This is a typical architecture layout, how our software can be used. And this is just the easiest setup how to use it. As mentioned before, our software, the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform, is deployed in this scenario in a Kubernetes cluster provided by Kube1. And we are able to deploy user control planes as containers onto this cluster, where we are just leveraging the infrastructure of either public clouds or private clouds to deploy the worker nodes. So that means from an architecture point of view, we are centralizing the deployment of control planes in this single Kube1 cluster and leveraging the public clouds or the private clouds just for the worker nodes where you can have multiple clusters running. So one example would be here, user cluster 1 is running on Google Cloud, but you can have as well in your projects endless clusters of either OpenStack, VMware, or even bare metal. Our biggest installation is currently focusing on providing 400 Kubernetes clusters with one single platform, but we have been able to test it as well to scale up to 1,000 clusters here. A more complex environment when it comes to a distributed control plane is this example. So in this example, we are deploying our Kubermatic Kubernetes platform in AWS, where we are as well possible to spin up Kubernetes clusters on the same cloud, on the same AWS account. But in this multi-cluster setup, in a multi-cloud environment, we are as well able to deploy with the same set of software a Kubernetes cluster on the left side on Google Cloud or on private cloud with OpenStack. So this is a clear hybrid cloud setup. From a feature perspective, what we are providing, first of all, we are providing a multi-cloud self-service portal. As mentioned by Adrián, this would be stage 5, so full self-automation here. We are focusing on providing certified conformant Kubernetes clusters. So that means we are providing 100% vanilla Kubernetes. If you are installing Kubernetes with our software on AWS, it looks exactly the same as a vanilla Kubernetes cluster on Azure or on on-premise environments like VMware. We have built-in multi-tenancy and user management with the help of a containerized control plane is as well possible to enable you and customers here in leveraging NHA self-healing infrastructure. We are using cluster blueprints and best practices that you are able to automate the cluster deployment and as well the cluster configuration. The Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform provides the full lifecycle management. So not only deploying clusters, maintaining clusters, repairing clusters, upgrading clusters is as well possible. And from a full lifecycle perspective as well to decommissioning clusters, we have the ability for auto-scaling. So auto-scaling from Kubernetes is enabled in our platform, can be used for all the workloads which you are planning to use. The integrating metrics with Prometheus and Grafana from a real-time logging perspective, dashboarding with the help of Loki. We have as well the ability to integrate our software into a CI/CD system. This will be done with service accounts. So service accounts on project level, I will show it to you in a few minutes. Is the way forward to deploy automatically out of a CI/CD system Kubernetes clusters. We have the ability to enhance our software, so that can be done with the add-on controller. Add-ons could be the easiest one, the Kubernetes dashboard, but could be as well up to more complex operations or deployments on Kubernetes. As one example could be here Kubeflow, what we are providing here as well. Last but not least, we are not just having cluster blueprints with built-in best practices. We have as well the ability to use presets. Presets is a functionality in our software where it is possible for the operations team to centralize or to centrally store credentials of your public and private clouds, that at the end user has no need to add in his credentials to the platform, so centrally managed access to hyperscalers and to on-premise environments mentioned below. Before automatic backups and failure recovery of the control plane with the help of Velero. We have a white labeling feature as well, so that means you can customize and adjust the dashboard and the UI of our software for your corporate look and feel. And last but not least, we have an SSH key management. Just a quote here from one of our customers. This is for Simon Peace from Sys11. Before Kubermatic, our system would scale, but our staff wouldn't. This is quite a typical problem when it comes to operations of Kubernetes. We needed a new engineer with every 10th cluster, resulting in a bottleneck. So with Kubermatic, Sys11 is able to manage hundreds of clusters with one engineer, freeing our engineers to focus on product innovation, which I would say should be the case for every company. So Sys11 is currently running more than 400 clusters, which just an operations team of 4 engineers, just to give you an impression out of it. That's it from the presentation. I would say we should give you just a short walkthrough about our software here. So let me quickly just reload my page. You can still see my screen, correct? Yes, perfect, awesome. I'm really sorry, but I needed to reload here because I was in dark mode. So dark mode and light mode is as well one of our features. This is all because I was spinning up a little bit earlier of my day here in Germany. It was dark. Let us start here just from a cluster perspective. So I'm currently in a project which is called Demo. So the possibility as well with the help of projects is to build up a logical entity, and the logical entity enables peoples and groups to spin up clusters on demand. So what you can see here in my project Demo, I have actually 5 clusters running. One is an external one, so it is as well possible with the Kubermatic Kubernetes Platform to import external clusters. Don't be confused that you don't see so much information here. This is just because of we are currently developing the feature of importing clusters. So at this stage, it is read-only, but we are working on it in the next versions in the next 3 to 4 months to fully provide as well management of external clusters. From the overview perspective, I'm having here 3 clusters running, one on Azure in the US, 2 on AWS here as an example in Europe, Frankfurt, and 1 on Google Cloud in Frankfurt. Let us just take one example cluster. So the example cluster would be here, the unriffed Jang. So this is currently running in 1.18.10. So from a Kubernetes perspective, we are currently at 1.20. So to show you the use case, how easy it is to upgrade the cluster, just let me go here. We see a new version is available. The versioning behind it can be managed centrally by the operations team. So there's no need for an operations team to go through all the clusters. So in the Sys11 example, to go through 400 clusters, you can centrally manage what kind of versions are available for your end customers. So this drop-down menu is as well skipping some minor versions and is just providing well-tested versions by my central administration team. And in this example, it is easy for me to upgrade from 1.18.10 to 1.19.3. It is possible as well to upgrade only the control plane, or as well control plane and the worker nodes. So let me take in this example, control plane and worker nodes. Let me go to change. So what's happening in the background? In the background, we have kickstarted with the Kubernetes operator here a rolling upgrade. So the rolling upgrade means At the moment, there are 3 instances of etcd. The rolling upgrade works in a way that we are spinning up a 4th node of an etcd. This will be deployed on the Kube1 cluster in this example, which is running on Hetzner. And when the 4th node is up and ready and integrated into the etcd cluster, we will kill 1 node. Same goes for the machine controller and scheduler and all the other stuff. From a worker node perspective, we are using as well rolling upgrades and not in-place upgrades. So that means we will spin up new worker nodes. We will from the existing worker nodes perspective, we will stop to deploy worker or pods on it. We will migrate, or we will spin up new pods on the new node. And when everything is finished and the worker nodes is up and ready and integrated into the cluster here, we will kill the old node. Another example would be how easy it is to spin up clusters on hyperscalers. Let me just go and take AWS as an example. So the provider view here is just an example what we have configured. This is configurable. So if you are just focusing on leveraging AWS and VMware vSphere as one example, you would only see this kind of providers. And as well, it is configurable for you which data centers should be used. I'm just using Frankfurt here as one example. So how to do that? You are just thinking about what should be the name of the cluster. You would use Kubernetes. You would define which version to be used. We have as well admission plugins, as mentioned before. The pod node selector gives you the ability to just use predefined worker nodes, or the pod security policy can be enabled as well. As I'm running here on an older version, you cannot choose here the open policy agent, but this is available in version 2.16. So the demo version is just 2.15.7. We can go to next. The presets as provided can be shown here. So there's no need for me to add an access key, the secret access key, as well from Kubermatic itself. So this has been predefined by my administrator team. So no hassle, no copy and paste of access keys and secret keys. I will go to next. The next one would be to define the machine controller set. So the definition of how much worker nodes should be deployed. So this example, I would say I would like to get 3 replicas. We have a bunch of operating systems which are supported. So what you can see here, what has been configured by my administrator is you can use either community editions like Ubuntu or CentOS. We have as well the support for enterprise editions, so that can be RHEL or SLES, or for container optimized operating systems as Flatcar. The next stage would be, and this is provider specific for AWS, there's an overview of the node types or the node size, what should be used. It is as well possible to configure the disk type, so GP2, and if it should be fast disks or slow disks. The available subnet IDs and the availability zones is something which is actively checking in your AWS account. We will go to next. You will see an overview about it, and then the clusters being created. The cluster itself, the first stage is to install the control plane. So the control plane will be installed on the centralized Kube1 cluster. And when the control plane has been finished, we are leveraging our cluster API integration with the help of the machine controller. And the machine controller is talking to the public cloud provider, in this case to AWS, asking for instances. After the instances has been launched, we are installing and configuring our software here. if I'm just taking another example of an existing cluster, which I have deployed already. So from the density perspective, as mentioned before, we are currently using just 1.2 GB of RAM for this control plane and just 295 millicores, which is, I would say, quite impressive. From a member's point of view, so there's just one member, that's me, but for a project where you can spin up multiple clusters in multiple environments, it is as well possible with the help of Dex as the integration point for any OpenID Connect capable IDM solution to add other ones. So that means I would be able as well to add Caroline here as just as an example. We have 3 standard roles here already configured, so she can share my ownership of my project here. So that means she can as well create clusters if she would like to do that. But it's as well possible just for, to be an editor. Editor means as well she's able to adjust my clusters or to spin up new worker nodes or just the read-only function just as a viewer. The same thing is as well able to be done on cluster level. So from an RBAC perspective, it is as well possible here either to add Caroline itself, or when you're using Active Directives as well, possible to add here group email addresses. And then you can just define for the cluster a cluster administrator, editor, viewer from a namespace perspective, as well as namespace admin, editor, and viewer. These are just examples of roles. This can be adjusted to your needs in your company. The ability to spin up Kubernetes clusters out of a CI/CD system, as mentioned before, will be done via service accounts. So we have here a service account where I'm just able to add a token for your CI/CD system, and with the help of this CI/CD system, it's possible to spin up clusters automatically out of your CI/CD system. From a user perspective, if I'm just taking this kind of example cluster, is we are providing as well add-ons. One of the typical add-ons is to provide the dashboard for the end user. So the connection was interrupted. Just give me 1 second. So we are deploying out of the box, and let me take this one, maybe this is better. We are deploying out of the box the OpenStack, the Kubernetes dashboard here as well. So in this example, my cluster is being deployed just having 5 worker nodes. We have as well the ability, as mentioned before, to use Prometheus, Grafana, and Loki. So this is just a standard implementation of Prometheus, and the overall aim of this Prometheus instance is to collect and to correlate all the data for the operations team of the user cluster in a single interface. For dashboarding, we can use Grafana. So what you can see here as well is I'm not just able to see how many clusters has been deployed. It is as well possible to have an overview from a central ops operations, what kind of versions we have deployed and are currently running. And as well, how much changes has been done and where the clusters are running. So in this example, you can see here we have 4 clusters running on vSphere, 10 on AWS, 4 on Azure, and even as well some of them on DigitalOcean and on Hetzner. Give me 1 second. I need to just go to the next one. Give me 1 second, because I have more the problem that I can see here now my screen sharing stuff. So that means as well I cannot access it. So let me just close some tabs here, leave side. This is the Loki implementation. So with the help of this Loki implementation, it is well possible for a centralized operations team to have a look on all the logs And as well, you can have it side by side, so you can as well correlate between the metrics with Grafana and the logging with the help of Loki here. Last but not least, we have as well our REST API. So the REST API can easily be tested out with the help of Swagger. So Swagger gives you as well the ability let me just go to cancel it, just to try out some parameters. So the easiest one is get a list of all projects which are currently available via my account, execute it. You can just see what kind of curl command will be used and as well the response. So what you can see here as well for the project. So that's my project ID. It has as well the label development. You can add as well custom labels as cost center as well for internal billing and accounting. We can see clearly who the owner is and what kind of demos or what kind of projects are available. And there's a whole bunch of stuff what can be done. We are an API first company, so that means as well here everything what is available in the UI has been done by API first. Let me just quickly go back to the slide deck because I see just that we are running out of time. Caroline, up to you.
Yes, thank you very much for this interesting presentation. I saw that we have some questions that we quickly should go through before we just add some closing words. So the first question is for you, Adrián. So thank you for your presentation, Adrián. Could you explain how I can assess DevOps maturity?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think we chat about a few things. There are a lot of aspects, and we talk only about a few of them. I would say, well, like a key question to ask. Usually by having a chat, you can realize there is a lot of frustration and you can get to know like how mature you are in the scale. But yeah, there are many templates that you can use. But for example, like how proactive is a new developer when it joins the organization, key question, because it will touch on many aspects like permissions and so on. So you can see like how if you have silos or if there is good integration, how fast you can go through production, if your tests are automated or not. So that will enable you to go to prod quite easily, like how security is taken into account. So there are a lot of aspects. So I'm guessing is like case by case, but as a standard template, within the presentation, we have the 5 stages, like from standardization to full automation. That's something you can be using. Some key aspect maybe I forgot to mention is that, well, this is not something that maturity that you just fix by like buying an AWS account and off you go, but rather, well, how do we introduce that to your team? What does it mean for your organization? You have access to these tools, but then you need to organize them in such a way that makes sense for what you're doing. I hope that helps.
Thank you. There are 2 more questions left, and since we are running out of time, yeah, we need to hurry up a bit. I'm sorry for that. So the first question, can you please explain the difference between Kubermatic and vanilla Kubernetes? Malte, maybe you can take over.
Yeah, to make it short, Kubermatic is a software which is supporting you in the day 2 operations of vanilla Kubernetes. So our software helps you to deploy and to manage Kubernetes, and vanilla Kubernetes itself is just the software to run your workloads.
Okay, thanks for that. So the next one. Hi there. Do we support service mesh like Istio? Please explain if service mesh like Istio is used. How does the multi-cluster setup work? So
to make it really short, so Istio is supported. So with the help of our add-ons, which I was briefly mentioned before, it is possible to deploy automatically Istio. that's possible. The question, how does a multi-cluster setup work, would take a little bit longer, I would say so. But happy to do follow-up here. Just send us a note and we can organize a follow-up to give you more details about this topic.
Thank you. And heading over to the last question, also any sort of tokenomics or cost explorer to see which clusters are consuming how much cost. Also, is it possible to group clusters at organization level?
So first of all, the last question, the grouping of cluster at organization level, this is exactly possible with the feature of our projects implementation. And for the second one, for the cost explorer, so we are collecting all the metrics for accounting purposes, and you can get it via CSV file, which will be, or which is currently being used by a lot of customers, by ourselves for internal cost calculation. So that's possible, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm afraid that we cannot go into more detail into your questions because we are running out of time, and before we get kicked out of this meeting in an unnice way, I'd just like to say a few more closing words. So first of all, thank you for joining. Thank you, Adrián and Malte, for doing this presentation. If you have any more questions, you either can send us an email to marketing@kubermatic.com, or you can reach out directly to Malte and Adrián to go through your open topics with them directly. Just very short on our own behalf, we are going to host a joint webinar with our partner AWS on March 18, 5 p.m. Central European Time. Topic will be Kickstart Your Kubernetes projects with Amazon AKSD and Kube1. So if you're interested, it would be great to see some of you. Yeah. And very important, we are hiring. So our teams are growing and growing even more, and we are looking for support. So if you're a Kubemaniac just like us, a Kubernetes lover and up for a new challenge, check out our job opening, see if there's any matching position. If not, send us your CV and we'll see if there's anything we could offer. Of course, we are always happy about new followers on our social media accounts and about new GitHub stars for our open source projects. So support is highly appreciated. But I think that's enough marketing stuff for tonight, or yeah, well, for today in Germany. The day is just about to start. So thank you very much for joining today. I hope this was an informative session for you, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and hopefully see you soon again. Thank you.